Hi folks, welcome to my humble homestead in the forest. Today I want to talk about something that I can probably say with 100% certainty. It's very rare that we can say anything with 100% certainty, but I think I can in this particular case, and that is toothaches. Toothaches. So uh, a week ago, roughly a week ago, I felt sort of not a shooting pain. It was like a constant pain. It felt like a nerve. I didn't feel like it was odorless. I didn't feel there was a pus or infection or anything. It felt like a nerve pain going up. And I felt it odd because about less than 6 months ago, I had two cavities or fillings or whatever done at cost of hundreds of dollars in Canadian currency. And I thought, well, they did an X-ray, which I don't like doing, and so when they did the X-ray, how would they have missed this third one? In fact, when I thought about it, they had missed one of the two that they did, and that was a deep one, and they hadn't seen. And so I thought, well, if they missed that one, it's obvious that they missed the third one too. And not that they get paid minimum wage, but that's a video for another day. So anyway, I thought, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna have to book an appointment, and where we live, it takes about 6 months for another appointment. And I thought, I guess I'm gonna have to call now and book an appointment. It was a Friday, and you know everything like this happens on the weekend when nothing's open, and they close at 4 o'clock. Anyway, I was annoyed, and I had two. I don't want to say sleepless nights because I managed to get a couple of hours of sleep, but they were not restful nights. I'm already not able to sleep. I don't get really restful nights on a good night. And if I go to use the bathroom on a new moon day and I see the sky filled with sparkly stars as we do here because we don't have any light pollution, and then my imagination takes off and I really can't sleep. But anyway, that's besides the point. And I thought, so I sent an email saying, I have a toothache. Can I come in next week? Is this some sort of an emergency or something? And while I was waiting for them to get this email, because like I said, it happened on a Friday, and they're not going to probably get my email until Monday, and then even then, who knows when it will be. I started thinking, well, what can I do in the meantime to lessen this pain? Because it was very annoying. I love my food. I enjoy food. And cold water I like to drink, but I couldn't eat. I had to chew on one side. When you favor one side of your body, of anything, leg, arm, eye, nose, whatever, you start to damage the side that you're favoring now. And I thought, I don't like any of this. How can I? And then so I started researching and thinking about what I have. So some of the things you can do, as you probably know, are oil of oregano. Now we have two nice big established organic patches of oregano here, which I share with our current and future friends. And you can make your own oil of oregano or tinctures or whatever, just like any other plants or flowers that I have here. So I started to swishing with that. Swishing, like that kind of thing, swishing. I don't know if there's another name for it. And then I tried to use. I'm not trying to. I'll show you the back of the label. So I don't. It's not a sponsored video. I'm not trying to sell any products to you. Tissue salts, and actually here other homeopathic remedies that are for different kinds of aches and pains. And I'm also not trying to sell you this. I'll just put this away. Aches and pains and nerves and muscle, whatever. And so I'm taking those. I'm taking those the three. As I mentioned, I don't have the oil of oregano here. Vitamin C, calcium, magnesium, whatever I had to reduce or lessen the pain. It wasn't excruciating pain, it's just annoying pain. I'm not a very good patient. I don't like, I don't know about you, I don't have a very high tolerance for pain. I can take a lot of, anyway. So, doing all of that, and they worked, and after 2 days, it kind of went away, the pain went away for a bit, and then they came back, not with a vengeance, but just it started to go higher up now to my right eye a bit. And I thought, what the hell is that about? And then I thought, something that when I was little, 100 years ago, or before that, what did people do when they had that? Oh, one more thing that I did try, I forgot to tell you. I think in India they use something, I should have brought some, clove. Cloves are what you may have, if you're like into during the Christmas holidays, they use if you've ever seen an orange that's being poked, like studded with this beautiful brown pokey naily pattern, that's cloves that they've used. Or if you've ever had ham that they crisscross and then they poke a clove into each one of those squares, and so those are cloves. But for Indians, what did they use them for? I'm not sure. I guess into the Indian, maybe baked goods, or tea. Maybe it goes into chai. I'm not sure. Or baklava. Maybe it goes into that. Anyway, we had some of that, and what I did, you put some on or near the tooth or area that you think is the culprit for that pain. I did that, and I'm not a particular fan of it, of the taste of it, but I was at a point that I was using everything. And so then I remembered, I thought, well, what did people use, 1,000 years ago or thousands of years ago, when they didn't necessarily have, well, I mean, in India they had access to clove, which doesn't necessarily do a whole lot. Maybe it's for freshening your breath more if you have an infection, and then how you have a toothache, a rotting tooth, that kind, you can smell that on someone's breath. And this wasn't that case. I haven't had that for years and years and years. So, but I have smelt it on other people, and it's not good. It's like a rotting flesh. But I didn't have that, as I mentioned. And then I tried. This is why alternative to Western medicine is so good. Something that's been happening for thousands of years with such a track record. So salt and water. Warm salt is better so that they can dissolve, and just swish it, like I mentioned earlier, that kind of thing. You don't have to do it all day. You don't have to do it for 5 minutes. Maybe even a minute. Now we use I don't know if you can see sea salt, and we used to use pink, like a Himalayan salt, and recently, not so recently, but we used that for so many years, and then just for over a decade we used pink Himalayan salt. Before that we used sea salt, and I thought about it when we did some research before we switched back to sea salt, was that Himalayan salt is not nearly as good as they say, if not may even be more harmful than what your regular table salt would be that people can buy from supermarkets. And I remember when I was little, everyone I knew used sea salt, and we buy. I'm not advertising for this company, sea salt company, but we buy sea salt now in big bulk, and it's not cheap, but I mean, what is and why shouldn't it be? And it's a preservative, and I've used it everything for my cooking, for my toothache, and it really worked. It really worked. I have no pain right now, and knock on wood or whatever, and hopefully it won't come back. But my point is that all my fancy oil of oregano, these tissue salts, homeopathic, all these other things were not I mean, maybe they collectively they did something. I don't know. I shouldn't say I didn't do anything. But my point is that sea salt, something we already had at home. Water, something most people have. And so if that works, it's not free, but it's fairly inexpensive, especially if it's something that you already have at home. So next time you get a toothache, try this sea salt water, swishing with sea salt water, warm water if you can, a few times a day. And if it doesn't go away, if the pain doesn't go away, come back and let me know. And also, if you have a better remedy for this, for toothache, which I'm pretty sure everyone's gonna have, and I'm pretty sure not everybody has money or coverage or insurance to go to see a dentist. Let me know what those tried and true remedies are. I think I was going to say something else. Just a minute. Sea salt. Yeah, that worked pretty good for me. Oh, this is what I was saying. If you, I think it would even work better than what I just said that did for me personally. My experience is that if you could, at the very first sign, hint of something happening in your mouth, like I would say, what is that smell? Or I can't bite quite so hard here. Maybe it gives me a little pain. Or maybe if you have ice cream, something, some kind of sensitivity, try it then, rather than waiting till you have a full-on. For me, it came quickly. One day wasn't there, kind of thing, and the next day it was like, what is that? And then there it was. But I should have, that little space in between, I should have done it. Now I'm trying to do an experiment. I think, like I said, something I already have, the salt and the water. So I'm thinking of putting this on my monthly routine, or maybe even a weekly routine of things to do, because what does it hurt? I mean, don't make the water concentration so high of salt that you have a mouthful of salt, and then you develop a distaste for it, and you hatred for it, and you don't want to do it because you have so many taste buds on our tongue and in our mouth. And so don't make it such a high concentration. Do it in a lower concentration, so you want to do it more often, and it doesn't become like something that you hate doing. So I'm going to be doing this, and I'll let you know if I remember in another video that if I were to swish monthly, if not weekly, with this salt water solution, just as a preventative care, so that cavities don't start, or bacteria or whatever, it doesn't build up, or whatever. It's just disinfectants, right? All right.